About 3 o'clock in the morning, Jesus came toward them, walking on the water. He intended to go past them, but when they saw him walking on the water, they cried out in terror, thinking he was a ghost. They were all terrified when they saw him. But Jesus spoke to them at once and said, "Do not be afraid. Take courage.
Take courage.
I am here."
Yes.
That's the word of the Lord for this house tonight. Somebody, you've been praying for an answer. You've been praying for a sign. You've been wondering if your prayer has been heard. You've been wondering if you've actually been heard in your prayer closet. You felt like God is 100 miles away, but He is right here. Jesus told the disciples as He was walking on the water, "Be not afraid. Take courage, for I am here." And I hear Him saying that to somebody in this house tonight. Take courage. I am here. Take courage. I am here. Oh, somebody receive that. No matter how rough the storm is, when you throw your hands up, don't throw in the towel. I hear the Lord saying this. The prodigal is coming home. That's what I've heard. The prodigal is coming home. I don't know if that's somebody that this church is praying for specifically, or somebody that you're praying for specifically. I feel the Holy Ghost all over me. I don't know what it is that I keep hearing the Lord say. The prodigal is coming home. The prodigal is coming home. In Luke chapter 15, we see that he took all of he got his share of his father's belongings, and he took off and disappeared for some time. And when he left, the Bible says it was a distant land. We don't know how far this distant land was. We're not exactly sure, but we can say for a fact that this was a significant difference away. This word is in the Greek is called macros, and it's to measure space and time. But regardless of if this young son, the prodigal son, regardless of if he was a couple hundred yards down the road, or if he was in some other country somewhere, as some other versions say, regardless, we know that he was away from the Father's home. He was away from the will of the Father. He was out of communion with the Father.
All right.
When he did not ask, that he demanded his share of his estate from his father. And the Bible does not tell us that he left instantly, but it was a couple days later. There could have been arguing in this couple of days, we don't know. I feel like there were some burned bridges. I feel like there was some major damage to take place. And then the young man took off on his journey, never to look back, because he had self. He shifted his focus, once you get this, from his father, living under the roof of his father, shifted his focus from that to self. And what did that get him to? He took off to that distant land. Life was great. He had fun there for a little while. Life was wild. The bank account eventually had to run out. Eventually the bank account hit zero. Down to nothing he went. From being rich in his father's home, having it made and having everything, down to nothing with the pigs. Y'all with me? You know where the scripture is? From that to the pigs. He finally came to his senses and said, I've got to go home. I have sinned against heaven. I've sinned against my father. I've got to come home. This is for, I don't know if this is somebody that this church is praying for, or somebody that you were praying for specifically. the Holy Ghost showed me that somebody in this house is leaving completely restored. Your faith is going to be completely restored because you've heard from God tonight that the prodigal is coming home. See, the father was not inside the house rocking in his rocking chair and watching the news and drinking a cup of coffee, waiting to hear a knock at the door. See, the father was watching. Scripture tells us he saw him coming. He saw him coming from a distance. Therefore, he was looking for him. He was anticipating the return of his son. He was anticipating him to come back. He never lost faith. He never lost hope. This father never threw in the towel, but he was standing out on the porch and he was waiting. He said, my son is coming home. I'm just waiting. It's going to take some time. Lord, I'm not going to give up, but my son, he's going to come home to me one day. And when he saw his son coming at a distance, he did not wait on his son to come all the way to him. But what did he do? He went running. He went running. He said, there's my child. There's my baby. I'm going to get my child. Whoever you're praying for today, whoever this church is praying for, you might have a prayer list. But I see a home, and I'm going to prophesy this over you. I see a home, this ain't no scheduled homecoming service, but I see a homecoming service of prodigal children that you've been praying for. And it's going to be just a regular worship service, and it's going to clash into a homecoming service, and it's going to clash into revival right here at Fort Payne Church of God. The prodigal is coming home. The prodigal is coming home. And for those of you that are praying for them, those of you that are weary, don't give up. Don't lose hope. Don't throw your hands up in defeat, but you throw those hands up in reverence and worship to the one that